The suit-wearing, disguise-taking, widow-making Agent 47 stands tall among the earliest pioneers of the stealth genre. And over the last 18 years, the Hitman series has delivered a total of 7 mainline games, plus 2 mobile games as well. While each game is significant in their own way, not all are made equal, which is why we're taking a look back and ranking them all. Note that this list is not reflective of IGN review scores, just the opinion of 2 of the biggest Hitman fans at IGN. Also, we're just going to give an honorable mention to Hitman Sniper and focus only on the games that release on a PC or console. So, let's jump. Actually, let's get a disguise and then sneak quietly right into it. The PC-only original Hitman is a brutally tricky stealth 'em up that was quite unique at the time of its release in the year 2000. Codename 47 is certainly creaky by modern standards. The draw distance is diabolical, and there are no mid-mission saves to rescue you from a last-second derailment, but it successfully established Hitman's brand of slow, patient, and low body count gameplay. It was the antithesis of most action games available at the time, and contributed significantly to the rise of the stealth genre that had begun in the late 90s with stealth pioneers like Tenchu, Thief, and Metal Gear Solid. Broken down to their core, the Hitman games are kind of like puzzle games. Each level is a series of puzzles. How do I get to my target? How do I kill my target without getting noticed? How do I escape out of here alive? Hitman Go takes this foundation, and then rather than being kind of a puzzle game, it simply is a puzzle game, and it's a good one at that. One that adapts the fundamental mechanics of Hitman, the stealth, the target assassination, the distractions, and the disguises, into a turn-based puzzle format with killer results. Hitman Absolution is a controversial game in the series. Taken on its own merits, it's a pretty good stealth game that took the core of Hitman and molded it into a more directed kind of experience, which on its own wasn't bad, but it felt like a step in the wrong direction in terms of the evolution of the Hitman formula. Levels were more linear, assassinations were more blockbustery and spectacular, but there was less flexibility in how you would carry them out. And there was a new instinct mechanic that gave you a supernatural ability to reduce detection. It felt like a Hitman game designed for a broader audience, and as such, its appeal to the hardcore Hitman fans took a hit. IO Interactive's first Hitman sequel, released back in 2002, exposed the franchise to brand new audiences on PS2, Xbox, and GameCube, as well as PC. The multi-platform gamble paid off handsomely. Hitman 2 Silent Assassin was a critical and commercial hit. It's also a little long in the tooth these days, and its idiosyncratic and finicky control scheme is a little burdensome to go back to in the wake of contemporary Hitman's more refined movement and navigation. But several of Hitman 2's Silent Assassin's levels are amongst the most memorable of the series. It's also the first game in the series where targets could be killed by Sabotage Fugu. Hitman Contracts ultimately felt a little more like a robust expansion pack for Silent Assassin or a greatest hits album than an overt sequel. It has fewer levels than its predecessor, and several of them are remakes of missions from the original game. Those levels were all new to console players, however, and as such, Contracts is perhaps the most underrated installment in the franchise. It doesn't have much to say as the missions are mostly disconnected. IO opted to present the game's missions largely as a series of flashbacks, but damn if it's not the most consistently top-notch batch of missions this side of Hitman Blood Money. Hitman Blood Money was the pinnacle of the classic Hitman design that had been slowly improved and refined with every game leading up to it. The majority of levels were wide open with multiple paths of entry and exit, and the ways in which you could go about assassinating your targets were some of the most creative and memorable the series has ever seen, even to date. The Opera House mission is the perfect example, in which you had to assassinate the lead actor of an opera by either sneaking backstage, swapping the prop gun with a real gun, or you could just sneak behind the stage, wait for the scene where the actor gets shot, and time your gunshot with the bang sound effect. Or you could find a completely different way to kill him. Hitman games have always had a puzzle element to them, but the aha moments in Blood Money are without equal. We're gonna cheat a little bit here and treat Hitman and Hitman 2 as 2 seasons of the same game, since really, that's kind of what they are. That evolutionary step that Hitman Absolution was going for back in 2012, well, that was realized in 2016 with the episodic release of Hitman. Hitman 2016 ran with the idea that the Hitman series is all about playing in a murder sandbox. Each episode takes place in a different sandbox with different characters, different rules governing its world, and different toys to play with.
Watch out!
But always with the same objective: kill the targets and escape in whatever ways you're able. You were guided by special opportunities that would organically occur in the world, with each opportunity potentially leading to a situation that would allow you to kill a target discreetly. Even beyond the scripted assassinations, there were elusive targets and contracts mode that would keep players coming back even long after completing the main story missions. All of this adds up to, hands down, the best Agent 47 has ever looked and played. And that's our list. How would you rank the Hitman games? Let us know in the comments, and if you're looking for more Hitman, check out the first minutes of the game as well as our review. And for everything else, keep it here on IGN.